The story of Samira, a tale of past mistakes and true love. Music. My life story was somewhat different from ordinary girls. Before marriage, driven by my own naivety and desires, I had strayed onto paths I shouldn't have. By my own will, I spent time with several boys. I spent nights with them, and a constant fear remained hidden in my heart. What would happen if my husband found out about all this after marriage? On my wedding night, as I sat on the bed of flowers, my heart was beating incredibly fast. The room was filled with fragrance and light, yet there was a haunting silence. I was worried that my past might ruin my present. A moment of truth. During this time, my husband entered the room. He sat close to me and said softly, "Samira, you know I am the only child of my parents. After me, they had no other children. I was their whole world. But when I was 11, an accident snatched my father away from us. Since that day, my mother is my everything." I looked at my husband's face. In his eyes, there was truth, pain, and immense sincerity. A strange sense of peace began to settle in my heart, but with it came the fear that if he learned of my past, these moments of love would turn into hatred. The shadow of the past. My story began after my childhood. My entire youth was spent in loneliness and deprivation. My mother raised me by sewing clothes. She would stay busy with her machine all day, while I remained lost in the silence of the house. Then, one day, Yasser entered my life. He was a boy from the neighborhood, very handsome and charming. He was so attractive that any girl would have been ready to fall for him. When he looked at me and smiled, it felt like an electric spark inside me. There was a small wall between our rooftops. We often started talking there in secret. These conversations gradually turned into long meetings. When my mother would fall asleep exhausted at night, I would tiptoe to the roof. Yasser would be waiting for me. He would draw me close, hold my hand, and make promises. He would say, "Samira, you belong only to me. I will make you my wife and keep you forever. No one can separate us." These words intoxicated my heart. I surrendered myself to him. Everything that should happen after marriage had already happened between us. I knew it was wrong, but at that time, my heart, my desires, and his closeness had won over everything. Betrayal and a new beginning. Time passed. I repeatedly asked him for marriage, but he would put me off every time, saying, "Just have a little patience. My family isn't agreeing yet, but soon everything will be fine." When my mother saw no progress from Yasser's side, she accepted a proposal for me from her brother's son, Hamid. When I heard this news, it felt as if my heart shattered into pieces. I cried and told my mother, "I won't marry anyone but Yasser." My mother replied, "Yasser will not marry you, daughter. Open your eyes and see." Then, my mother called Yasser herself to speak plainly. I stood behind the door, listening, my breath hitching. When Yasser spoke, he said, "Auntie, I want to marry Samira, but my family will never agree. You should marry your daughter wherever you wish." Hearing this, my world was devastated. I cried and screamed, but the coldness in Yasser's tone had broken my heart. After that, I decided I would never meet him again. Acceptance and redemption. A few days later, I was married to Hamid. He was my cousin, a kind-hearted and sophisticated man. On our first night, when he came near me, my heart was racing. I thought that if he found out about my past, he would never accept me. But Hamid took my hand and said, "Samira, make one promise. Always speak the truth in your life, never lie." Tears began to fall from my eyes. I lowered my head, but he said, affectionately, "Greater than, I know. I know about Yasser, and I know about your loneliness. But I have accepted you because I love you from my heart. Greater than." Those words shook my entire being. I fell at his feet and cried, "Hamid, please forgive me. I made big mistakes in my naivety, but now I am only yours." Hamid wiped my tears and kissed my forehead. That day, I realized what true love really is. Yasser's love was temporary, but Hamid's love was filled with true sincerity. A message to others. Today, I want to say this to every girl: life's decisions should never be made in the heat of emotion. A moment's desire does not always bring happiness. Sometimes, it becomes a lifelong regret. Friends, if you liked my video, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Take great care of yourselves. See you in the next video.